Would you think it would be fair to then for me to call you a hypocrite?
How long ago do you think that was?
You think I lie to you?
People that are digging up drama from 12 years ago in my life to critique how I handled it. I think that's an unbelievable standard. Listen, all I'm saying is that like,
oh, come the terrible
I'm asking
thing.
you to answer that question. What would that feel like to you?
That would hurt my feelings very much.
Okay, you're not gonna answer the question. All right, well in that case, let's keep going. Where do you wanna go? I've taken my sword and I'm ready. Let's go.
I just answered it.
That's your real answer? It would hurt your feelings?
Yeah, it would hurt my feelings.
Why would it hurt your feelings?
I would like to know if you still stand by it. It's a quote where you're talking about like that it's unethical to use your platform for sex with smaller creators. It's a long one. I sent you the link if you want to look at it. And I'm just interested what your position that still is. Because in that quote, and it's from 3 years ago, you're saying that like you realize there's no real way to like assert consent there, that it's unethical, that you
okay, hold on, wait. Give me the video it comes from. I don't trust your summary.
Oh my god. I just sent you the thing, so you don't look at DMs. That's fine.
No, I don't, but that's why okay.
This is the quote from
Oh, I don't do this. You have to show me the original video. I'm not reading a Max quote that has literal like cuts coming out of it.
Okay, that's fine. I'll find the video, but then I can't talk about this point. Okay, I see.
Oh, no, wait, hold on, I'm sorry. Actually, even the quote is okay, your summary was just horrible. So my quote is, let's say that I have a podcast, I got 30,000 viewers, let's say there's a girl that messages me, we talk a bit, and she really wants to be on, and I'm like, yeah, cool, like you really want to come on a podcast, blah, blah, blah. I could probably start texting her, she'll probably give in and send me nudes and shit, because she doesn't want to lose that opportunity. She might not actually want to. She might not be into it really at all, but if I start propositioning her, if she says no to me, she might worry like, I say no, blah, blah, blah. I think that's right. Yeah, I think I generally stand by this. Sure. I said, this is why I said hazy area. We can't really consent in that situation because you don't know if this guy's going to over, if you say yes or no to them, if they have that big position of power over you. Sure.
Okay. So, see, this really surprised me because I figured that the whole, like, being engaged with orbiters or stuff came from, like, you saying that's, like, basically what you said on Wick, that red flags don't mean mines and you can behave ethically even in things we say that could lead to unethical behaviors.
Theoretically, yeah.
Yeah, but this quote implies that you probably believe both? But there
are certain situations that you can never really read consent into, probably, and then there are others where it's hazy.
Okay, good. That's a good extent. And you would say that, like, in the situations that you engage in, it's hazy, and that you trust yourself to be able to tell the difference.
Yep.
Okay. Would you think it would be fair to then for me to call you a hypocrite?
Are you gonna actually say anything, or are we just like going for bombs, or?
Is that a bomb?
Well, you just asked me if you can call me a hypocrite over what? I don't know what you're asking me. A hypocrite over what?
Oh, I think that, like, considering you saying that you actually hold that position and like some of the behaviors that you engage with, I think that's hypocritical because you say that you understand that this is problematic, but you're also saying, yes, it's problematic, but I'm going to do it anyway.
I didn't say this is problematic. You accurately stated earlier that what I said was it can be complicated and confusing and hazy, but that I trust myself to navigate that. That doesn't mean it's problematic. I don't think I engage in problematic behavior, generally. I mean, I'm sure I have in the past, but in general, I make it a point not to, and I think I do a pretty good job generally of avoiding it.
Okay, that's why I asked if you think it's fair, because for me, hazy can imply everything you just said. I was like, oh, this problematic, and if you don't feel that way, then yeah.
Hazy and problematic are two different things. Problematic, I think, I'm not trying to condescend, I don't know if it's like an English or language thing, but when people in English say problematic, it means it's like necessarily bad. Like problematic doesn't imply hazy, it implies something is bad here. Like using the N-word is problematic, or being like, yeah, like that's problematic. Like people generally don't say that like a hazy area is like problematic. I think like in English vernacular, you could say it's problematic, but like in common like political parlance, when we say something is problematic, we mean it's necessarily bad. Yeah.
Okay, if you see problematic is necessarily bad. I think problematic means, or at least how I'm reading it from my quote-unquote bubble, is that like, oh, we don't necessarily like this behavior, but it's not outright bad to an extent where we would expend too much effort. We just call it problematic.
Sure, like, and I could hear some people using that, but just generally in online spaces, problematic almost always means it's something is bad. If behavior is being called out for like rape culture is problematic, or being irresponsible with the platform, like problematic, like that's generally how I hear it. But if you want to define it as you want, we can proceed with whatever definition. I would say that hazy is a different thing, but it doesn't matter, yeah.
Okay, sure. Then just to clarify, all I meant was just like, it's like, oh, this isn't great. This is behavior that would probably be best for everyone, if maybe not, but it's not like a moral evil to the universe. Is what I meant.
I mean, it could be. It's just red flag. It's like proceed with caution, but okay.
Proceed. What was the other thing? Yes. So you steelmanned for Wick an argument that Max could have made regarding retaliation. You said Max could have like made a very strong case using like 3 examples of me engaging in retaliation and how that makes it more difficult for people to report abuse that I quote unquote do to them. You then specified those examples, which was the DDoS kid Mieros and Blue Tea, and then you didn't like respond to the steelman argument. Like, what's your counter argument for that?
My counter argument is generally, in almost all cases, I never just randomly go in on somebody. There's a lot of people that might complain about me, but I don't usually go in on people for just complaining about somebody. Usually when I go in on people, it's because I feel like they've made false allegations against me, or they're saying something that I don't think is very accurate. And I feel like generally when I've come out and I've spoken against those things, I think I'm generally correct in that. Yeah.
I don't know how pissed you're gonna be, but let's try this.
Go for it.
You're gonna make it. I'm saying, like, my critique of you is, like, I'm not saying that everyone else is squeaky clean, but I'm not focusing on everyone else, and you can ask me why if you want to later. But
well, hold on, wait. I'm not trying to focus on other people, but, like, doing something in retaliation is different than doing something unprovoked, right? Like that, like, let's say that you... Yeah, so if somebody says like, oh, like you punched a dude last night and I thought that was wrong, and it's like, well, he hit me first and we were fighting, and you're like, well, I don't want to focus on his action, I want to focus on yours. I think it is pretty important to figure out like what came first to see if the action was like a good or bad thing.
Justified, right?
Yeah.
So just to use your analogy, my critique is that it feels like... someone's saying, oh my god, Destiny punched a dude last night, and then you go, no, he punched me first, but then you look at the dude and he's 5 feet and you're like 7 feet and like 500 pounds.
Yeah, but in my case, it's not that I'm 7 feet and he's 5 feet. It's that I'm 7 feet and I'm getting attacked by 100 people that are 5 feet tall. Their lack of platform can't be an excuse when they're working in conjunction with so many other people. Like, that's the issue. I don't buy that, like, they've got a smaller platform, because it's not just one person. It's usually a whole mass of people. Not only is it a whole mass of people, they know it. Because all of these people, whenever I'm in some kind of thing, all decide to jump on at the same time, and they know it. They're all retweeting each other, quote tweeting each other, and amplifying each other's shit. So when I reach out to attack one of them and they go, oh no, you've got a bigger platform, that's bullshit. I don't know if I have a bigger platform than every single person attacking me. Go ahead.
Wait. So, like, I don't even want to know if I'm going to go. So, the specific examples that you used as, like, the Steelman one, they don't even have to do with, like, a smaller platform. They have to do with you reaching out to try to get people fired, or you trying to kill a kid, or thinking about killing a kid. That's what I mean. I'm not talking about like the platform size right now. I'm talking about your retaliation act as like a disproportional measure to what's happening.
Sure. Which examples do you want to go over where you feel it's disproportional?
I guess the Blue Tea one.
Okay, so for the Blue Tea one, she got mad that I called her ugly in a DM, which was gross. I shouldn't have done that. I agree with that. Her response to that was to go onto my public Twitter, tweet out nude pictures of me to my entire audience, and then imply that I was a pedophile. Do you think that her response was proportional?
No.
Okay, so if she did a completely and totally disproportionate response, I don't know if it's like beyond the pale to say like I might contact her school over this.
Okay. I have 2 questions just to make sure.
Mm-hmm.
My understanding with the blue tea thing is not only... I don't care you called her ugly, even though that's what she was upset about. I understood that you showed private pictures of her to 2 of your friends?
Yes.
Okay, so that's part of it.
No. It's not. I know that when you guys retell it, because that's what you guys focus on, because that's the only thing your brain can handle. But the reason why she was upset, because these were pictures that had been passed around that she shared to other people. Not to say that I shouldn't have. I mean, like, that's not the greatest thing. But the reason why she was so livid was because I called her ugly, which I agree is gross. But I know that, like, for your female brain, you want to, like, make it about, like, sharing nudes or some shit. Which, by the way, every single woman does to every guy that sends them nudes. If you're a guy out there, if you didn't know that, women will always, especially girlfriends, will share your fucking nude pictures with their other girlfriends and shit. Girls do this shit all the time. Not to say that it's okay, but I'm just saying that, like, and actually you probably won't even believe me, but for the 3 people out there that have a brain, the reason why she was mad was because I called her ugly, because we were relatively close and she never thought that I would like call her ugly like that, and which was gross for me to do. But it's not a matter of like, oh my god, I was like leaking nudes. That wasn't the reason why she was so upset. But go ahead.
Okay. So first of all, I feel like I'm being pretty respectful, so I don't need the whole like woman brain nonsense you people type of shit.
Sure, but
like,
you laugh like it was so obvious, like, oh, well, obviously she was mad because of the nude thing. No, that was not the reason. That was like 5%.
That's what you think. That's what you think I was thinking.
Okay,
you can just ask me what I think.
Well, okay. I can ask what you think, but I'm just telling you, that's what you
But you don't care. I know that's fine, but then don't assume what I think.
Well, no. That's what you communicate when you say like, so that was probably a part of it. Like when you laugh like that, you're implying that I'm being like ridiculous or stupid. That was the implication from your...
No, I was implying that that's something that you left out of the story, and then you assumed that I cared about you leaving it out because I am some people that have some issue with whatever.
Gotcha. We can agree to disagree, but go ahead.
Okay. I don't know how you can disagree about what I think, but okay.
Well, it's not about what you think, it's about what you implied. You might have implied something you didn't think. That's possible. We do that all the time.
But okay.
Mm-hmm.
So... she was mad that you called her ugly. The nudes part doesn't matter because she didn't care about that, and women do that anyway. Got it. Gonna ignore all of that. Okay. And then she acted disproportionately, right? Mm-hmm. Do you think, and I'm pretty sure you do because you... Or maybe you said it was gross how you treated her about like calling her ugly, but I figured that you understood that like trying to get her like fired and have her scholarship removed was also a disproportional act. Or am I
probably
wrong?
Yeah, no, it probably was.
Okay, so if
to be clear, also I didn't do that, but go ahead.
Okay, that's good to hear. If that is the case. The reason why I'm complaining at you, even though she was disproportional, is because, as I said, I'm not focused on other people. And as I said, you can ask me why not. But my point is, when I'm levying critiques towards you and how you irresponsibly use your platform, I'm not saying, a bunch of other people did some bad crap too. I'm talking about what you're doing, because I care about your actions.
That's fine, but I need it to be framed that it's in response to other things. Also, this happened 10 fucking years ago. Or 12 years ago? I don't remember. But
is the blue tea 12 years ago?
Yes. Wait, how long ago do you think that was?
I don't remember.
Wait, well, what do you think? I'm sorry. Shouldn't have said that, because now you're going to lie to me. Wait, how long ago do you think that was?
You think I lied to you?
I think you will lie to me now. I think now you're going to say, oh, I thought it was like 9 years ago. How long ago did you think that was? Your answer right there just made me think that you thought it was pretty recent.
No, I don't think it's pretty recent.
Wait,
I'm
how long ago do you think
it 12 years ago.
Well, no, I'm curious how long ago you thought that it was.
I thought it was more recent, honestly.
Like how recent? I'm just curious.
Like 5 years.
Okay.
But if you're telling me that's 12 years ago, that's fine. Like, This
was like 2012, or I think it was 2012. It might have been 2013.
Yeah,
Okay.
Then I need to look what I missed there.
It might just be that Max didn't include dates at all. I don't know. He left out a lot in his little thing, but okay.
So that's possible. Because when I'm trying to remember that section, I don't remember if there was a date on it.
Okay.
Anyway. Do you think that invalidates what I said?
I think it's important to keep in mind. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure, right?
Again, like I'm gonna lean harder into this. I'm gonna play my Nebraska roots from Midwestern state here, or whatever. I think that if you treat people in a certain way, I don't think you can be surprised by how they respond. Like maybe there's like a better response, then we should hold people to a higher standard. But to virtue signal over it or to act like it's so obvious that there was like a better option, I think is ridiculous and unfair. But
you're referring to what I said. Yeah. Okay. I don't think it's virtue signaling, but my people tend to do that, so I understand you.
Whoa, what do you mean by my people? Careful.
Jews, specifically.
Do Jewish people virtue signal hard? Is that true?
No, I'm memeing because... Okay, whatever.
Sorry, go ahead.
Anyway, my point is not that I am virtue signaling that there was an obvious way to keep forward. I am very interested in your current view, because like what was disturbing to me is that when I was watching you talk to Wick, it seems like your conceptualizations of a lot of the events, while you did express like remorse and took responsibility for them, or some remorse for some of them, except for the DDoS kid, is that like then your answers to the critiques are just like, yeah, but how do I say this? I don't think it's virtue signaling to say, hey, I do hold you to a higher standard because of the size of your platform and your sphere of influence.
Sure. To be clear, I don't think I'm held to a higher standard. I think you guys hold me to popely, godly standards, to be clear, but that's okay. Go ahead.
Who's you guys? Is it Jewish people?
People that are digging up drama from 12 years ago in my life to critique how I handled it. I think that's an unbelievable standard. I don't think anybody would have made it as far as I have with this level of critique. I don't think any normal person. There's not even very many streamers.
Am I part of that, you people?
Yeah, a little bit. You play your part. But okay. I'm just saying in general, but go ahead.
Okay. So let me make it very clear. If you're bothered by me coming here and asking you questions, you can just tell me and I can off.
No, it's fine. I mean, the problem isn't you asking the question.
No, the thing is, you can't be like, no, I welcome these conversations and I make content of it and it's all good. But then you get to call me you people and signal to your audience that I'm actually part of a machine that I'm not.
Sure.
That's what bothers me.
The problem isn't the questions. The problem are the thoughts. The fact that you think these things means you're going to echo them.
You don't know my thoughts.
Clearly, you just said that you think you need to critique behavior of mine from 12 years ago and have like conversations about it, right?
Is that what I said? Or when you told me that it was from 12 years ago, I said, oh yeah, I f***ed up on that. I think that is relevant information. I wonder if if it makes you feel like it invalidates my critique. Is that what happened?
Well, okay, then it's gross negligence then if you came and you weren't even aware of when the dates are. But listen, all I'm saying is that like...
Oh, come the f*** on. Okay.
You didn't even know what it was. I'm just saying that it's like it's frustrating sometimes. Like, when was the last time you had to answer for something that you did like 12 years ago? Like, that's just it's an insane bar. You have no empathy for me dealing with it. And I understand I'm not a person that garners much empathy, but I'm just saying. But that's okay. You can keep asking.
No. Okay. Why do you think I have no empathy?
Because even the conversation.
Because you assume that about me, right? Or because you know other people who don't have empathy. Okay. You don't know shit about me. True. You don't know what I think about you. Mm-hmm. You don't ask me what I think about you because you don't actually care. But then we're in this conversation and you get to paint me in a certain way. I have a lot of empathy for you. Okay. More empathy than you want me to have. Okay,
gotcha. Okay, I will not group you with anyone else. You're your own unique butterfly right now with no other group attached to them except for the Jewish one. Go for it.
Except for the Jewish one. Yeah. Amen.
True. I'm trying to be a good goy right now. Go ahead.
You want to open another can of worms with Jews now or just Muslims?
I love Jewish people, okay?
That is very cringe to say.
Why? What? Okay. My best friend is Jewish.
I think when people say, I love X group of people, it's cringe.
Oh, so I can't love black people either?
No, you can't.
Okay. All right, go ahead. What's your next point?
Oh my god. Let me think of my butterfly wings and think what my next point was.
Go ahead.
Yeah. No, we talked about no one having empathy for you, so we covered that. The thing, blue tea was 12 years ago. What else did I want? Okay, so in the case that you... So what you're saying is that when you steel-manned an argument for retaliation, you can basically, quote-unquote, explain off in a reasonable way most of the dominant examples.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, like, if I can steel-man and... So it's not actually what?
So it's not actually a good argument, even if you can steel-man.
Well, yeah, I can steel-man a lot of arguments for things I don't consider good arguments, right? I just think if Max wanted to present his story and he wasn't actually like NPD, he would have been able to do it in a more compelling way. But I mean, these are things that I think about. So obviously, like,
do you know he's NPD, or do you just find it?
Absolutely, yeah.
So you don't know? Okay,
I do
so
know.
you're diagnosing him like you did Anna. Okay, that's fine.
I do know. I know he's NPD. It's okay.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
But this isn't about Max. Go ahead.
Do you think diagnosing people with mental health disorders is a responsible use of your platform?
Well, in trying to frame somebody's behavior, sometimes, yeah. He's sick.
Really?
He's got a personality disorder. I can't just treat him as a normal human being, right?
Well, the thing is, I'm not sure you have... Well, I know you don't have the qualification to diagnose him with a personality disorder.
Oh, no. Trust me, I got lots of first-hand experience with mentally ill people, so...
That's not what qualifications to diagnose people is.
Okay,
unless you're secretly a psychologist or a psychiatrist.
Good
that
qualification.
I wasn't aware of.
Nice job. Okay, what is the next part of your thing? I said good qualifying. Yeah. Because I might have just pulled out my BA in a personality disorder diagnosis. You don't know that.
I mean, I wish you would, because that would make it so much better than you just randomly going around tagging people with personality disorders.
Well, I wouldn't say that it was random for Mr. Grohl, but go ahead.
Yes.
He exhibits traits of narcissism. How about that? Will that make you feel better?
If you said that every time, yes, it would make it better for me. Thank you very much.
Okay.
But you're not going to.
No,
because it's not as easy.
NPD is fuck.
Yeah, exactly.
But that's okay. So go ahead. Yeah.
So why are you being dishonest about what you actually want to say? Why pretend like you're building a bridge when you're not?
Listen. Okay, it was a hypothetical bridge. Okay, we were just laying down the blueprints. I wanted to see how it would look, and I looked at it and I didn't like it. But you know.
Yeah, of course you did. It would require too much work, as in saying 2 more words whenever you wanted to insult someone.
True. Not insulting. Yeah. I'm just trying to provide a framework by which to understand his behavior.
Oh, don't make me sit here and defend Mr. Girl, okay? That's not what I want. I don't even have the information about him to defend him, even if I wanted to.
Okay.
What did I want to say?
I'm not sure.
Okay, retail. Just give me a second, okay?
You got all the seconds in the world.
Okay, so for me, the reason why the context of quote-unquote digging up old things. First of all, I don't think digging up old things is the best way to go. But for me, what was interesting is not how long ago was it, but your conceptualizations of events. If the blue tea thing, the blue tea thing happened, you said 12 years ago, okay? And your conceptualization of it now is that maybe it changed after this conversation or other after conversations, but if the conceptualization was, yes, I might have was going to react disproportionately, but she also reacted disproportionately. So that's the context of it.
Okay.
Then for me, it doesn't sound encouraging that you won't do that the next time when someone is unfair towards you.
Well, I don't know. I do my best, but again, it's hard.
No, I don't doubt. So do you feel like would you then say that, like, when you react in ways that you can later reflect on and think they're disproportional, would you see that as fuck-ups? Like, stuff that you'd like to avoid in the future?
If that's what you want to label it, sure. But yeah, I think I generally do.
No,
if I was similar to how I was in the past, for instance, when Lav would have started like leaking some rando sex details of us that are not true, I would have just leaked the entire encounter from start to finish, and I probably would have just Me Too'd her. I would have written a whole thing about how I feel like she pressured me, she got me energy drinks to keep me awake, that I was tired the whole time. I would have like wanted a whole thing like that if I was in that same mind state. But I was willing to cut her some slack and let her do her little song and dance before I got to where it was. But so yeah, I think I've significantly changed with how I handle problems compared to where I was 12 years ago. Yes.
Okay. So do you feel like that ended up like backfiring for you, that you treated Lav differently than what you would have been otherwise?
No, probably not. I think it's probably for the better that I did things the way I did.
Okay. So when things like that happen, I guess what's the most recent thing? Can I bring up the DDoS kid, or do you not want to talk about that?
Yeah, if you want to, go for it.
Yeah, so I guess, what's your current take on that?
I think if somebody is like maliciously fucking with your income that much, I think you're carte blanche to do whatever the fuck to make them stop. It's like such an egregious violation of everything that, yeah, fuck them.
Okay, just very quickly. I was told that sometimes what you say is like meant to be giga chat.
Stop, I'm not giga chatting right now. If I was giga chatting, I would tell you. That's my genuine stance. That if somebody for lulz is destroying your ability to like do your job or like make an income or whatever, I think that you can go to up to whatever you need to do to make them stop.
Okay, so, and insofar as the DDoS kid, you don't have, what are we saying? That like, if you hadn't found a way to make him stop, you would have been fine killing him? Like, what are we saying?
There's probably like a better chain of escalation. So like, it probably should have started with like vandalizing his property and then like beating up his dad. I don't know, getting people like, there probably would have been a better chain of escalation than just killing him initially outright, probably. But something including like some sort of like, yeah, like upping it to, yeah, something more severe.
So I think I disagree with you, but that doesn't really matter. I'm more interested in, what do you think about your audience's reaction to that stance of yours?
I don't really care, but if I had to consider their reaction, I mean, I'm okay with if somebody's like stealing your ability to work a job and you've got to like defend that job with physical violence. I think it's okay to do that. I would say I'm generally okay with that position.
Okay. Do you care about your audience?
Hold on, you cut out for a sec. What did you say?
Why don't you care about your audience?
I do care about my audience, but for that particular thing, I'm not thinking of my audience's reaction to that because my whole job is on the line.
Okay, I see. So I feel like, generally speaking, a lot of the dissonance between people who criticize you and you is that people who criticize you would say destiny mobilizes a large audience type of stuff. And you see, I'm gonna say this as charitably as I can, you see a much higher level of separation between you and your influence over your audience. So for you, that critique doesn't click.
Hold on.
And for them...
No. I think I take more responsibility for my audience than almost anybody on the internet. I don't agree with that critique. I think a lot of people hand wave off like all their responsibility for their audience, but I think I'm generally pretty responsible for mine.
Okay. Let me see how I
was the first person on the entire fucking internet, for instance, to ban faggot from my chat room. I did that. I made a post on that in 2013, way before Twitch had official positions on it. I think I was like one of the first people as a large influencer to take a position against that.
Okay.
I also am one of the only people early on, I don't know if people do this now, that I hardcore enforce like cross-platform bans for people that do like weird fucky shit. If they harass people and we catch them, we ban them from every platform. Like, I was the first person to do a lot of this type of thing. Yeah. But go ahead.
Okay. So, that's good. I think it's good. But, let me see how I explain. So what I meant by large, a separation between you and your influence over your audience, I think that a lot of the backlash to a lot of the things that you end up saying, for my people, because I am a butterfly among butterflies, they see it as like, well, Destiny says something, and then there's not an insignificant amount of his audience that takes his word very highly, very seriously, very significantly. So whether Destiny is kind of memeing or giga chatting or being serious, now this opinion that is, I'm going to use the word problematic, assimilates and now spreads a lot more severely. And like, I would say, obviously, taking responsibility for that is, once it goes down the system, is impossible, which is why I
agree with that, but like...
Okay.
Have I giga chatted, like, an important opinion? Like, have I done that? Or I feel like if I do giga chat something, it might be a bit ironic, but I'm never ironically giga chatting something I don't agree with. Unless it's like ultra ironic and it's obvious. So like sometimes I'll say like, oh, because I hate women. But like I'm pretty sure I'm past like anybody taking that seriously. But like I might giga chat like a little bit about like the killing people in self-defense, but that's a position I genuinely have. Like I'm kind of giga chat like memeing it, but it's not a meme. I really do feel that way.
Yeah, so like I'm gonna like tell you why I'm saying this, and maybe you tell me to dismiss it. Like sometimes I critique you on my stream, for example, and then some Destiny people would come in, so people are very passionate about you. And like we will go back and forth on a take that you had. I will make my argument, and at some point they'll say, well, you need to ask Destiny what he really thinks about that. And I'm like, what do you mean? I heard what he said. That's what he thinks about that.
Can you give me an example on a thing?
Yeah, let me remember what it was. It was very...
It doesn't have to be like exact. I'm just curious in general, like, or even like what the topic was vaguely.
Fuck. I think it was this thing. I think it was like the sex with orbiters thing.
Okay, I've had full-on panels where I've had conversations with like, I don't think there's a problem necessarily with like fucking fans or other streamers. I don't think that's necessarily bad, but obviously there's a lot of ways it can go bad. But I've been pretty consistent on that in like all my conversations with that. So I might meme about it too, but like I genuinely do think that it's not like it's an okay thing. It's fine. Well, it's not an okay thing. It's fine, but it's just something you have to proceed with caution with.
Okay, so I'm gonna say it like this.
Okay.
I think that the reason why you feel very like tone and speech policed by the left is because people on the left or progressive circles are saying once Destiny says something, and especially then he double downs on it and like triple downs on it, that is now like in the general population. So they want you to be more careful with what you choose to say initially and double down on, because once you say that, like you backtracking or you, and now you're going to say I never backtracked, but just give me a second. You know, once it's down there, you can't control that, and I wouldn't expect you to, which is why I say like the level of responsibility is not about controlling whatever your audience thinks. It's just, I think you are unwilling to recognize how much actual influence you have.
What do you think I'm unwilling to recognize? I don't understand why people say these things. What am I unwilling to recognize?
Okay, we're gonna do this.
I just want an example. I just need to know what you're talking about. Don't be like, oh, we're gonna do this. I usually work in examples. Tell me what's something you think I don't recognize.
Okay, let me explain. The reason why I'm saying we're gonna do this is because I get anxious because I know you know your shit very well. I'm not as well read on everything. I don't know all of the Destiny lore, and I know that your chat doesn't like me, okay? So it's me bracing myself for something. It's not me being mad at you. It's me emotionally preparing myself,
gotcha.
Okay?
Do you understand that on my end, it would be frustrating if you have this characterization of me, but you can't think of a concrete example where I've done it? I understand people do that, but like that's frustrating for me, but...
I have a concrete example. I just
go for it. That's fine. No problem.
Okay, should we talk about Nick Fuentes?
Sure, go for it.
Oh god. Okay. What's your stance on... Okay, first of all, because I keep arguing with people about this. Were you friends with Fuentes, or were you friendly with Fuentes?
Probably friendly. Like, I don't think we've ever had a private conversation, ever. I don't think I've ever talked to him in voice outside of stream before. And we've traded a few DMs, but they were like exclusively over like when to show up on stream and everything like that.
Did he not visit your house? Was that not a thing?
Yeah, him and I think Abba and Dan. Yeah.
Okay. Are there?
But he didn't fly out for us to have like a gay butt sex vacation with each other. He was like in the area. Obviously, a conversation in real life is like super compelling. So he DM'd. He said he was in the area. It's like, oh yeah, you should come over. We should like chat. Yeah.
Okay.
But we weren't having like sleepovers. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Just to make sure, is there anyone you are? Because like, okay, were you and Mr. Girlfriends?
I'd like to think so. We had like off-stream conversations. I shared some personal things with him. I gave him a lot of like work advice. He confided some things in me. Like, yeah, I would like to think we were. Yeah. But I mean, I guess as much friends we are for never seeing each other in real life or like only knowing each other for a little bit less than a year. But yeah.
Okay, so for you, like the how many conversations you have off-stream and how much engagement off-stream is a good indicator, partially?
Sure.
Okay, so if you choose to spend your time off stream with someone, that would be like a good sign of something.
Generally, yeah. Even my wife has trouble getting me to spend time with her off stream, so yeah.
Yeah, like that's kind of what I'm saying. That's like, you know, a lot of your private life ends up on stream, so it would be hard for someone who only watches from the outside to tell like how friendly, what you actually feel about the person, you know?
Sure.
Okay. You weren't friends. You were friendly.
If you want to say that, sure.
Well, I said you were friends because all.
I guess, okay, if we want to continue, I have to ask, what do you mean by friendly? What does that mean?
Well, I don't know. Whenever I said you were friends with Nick Fuentes, somebody like DGR comes to my chest. It's like they were friendly, and I'm like, does it make a difference? So I'm just trying to.
So I think of friends as like this is a person that I would vouch for. I think they're of a character that I kind of agree with, like moral character, and it's somebody that I might like share like personal parts of my life. But that's what I think of as like a friend. For me, friendly is like we've got like a working professional relationship.
Okay.
So like I would consider you and me to be like friendly, right? We've chatted a little bit privately, but not much. And then you've been on my stream a few times, and I don't hate you. I don't think you hate me. I'm not sure. So we're like friendly, right? That's what I would say.
You're not sure? Okay, good. My God. Okay. For me, because you're a streamer and most people are not part of your personal life, I think the perception people get in terms of your relationships is what's important. So just to reciprocate, I don't know you as a human being and as a private person outside of the persona of Destiny. Therefore, everything that I think and say and do regarding you has to do with the persona, not with who you are, because I don't even fucking know who you are. I don't know you. That would be very weirdly parasocial to be like, oh, Destiny privately should do this and this and this. I don't care what you do privately. It's not my fucking business. So when I say friends are friendly, in that context, all I care about is what your audience is seeing and perceiving. So if in that context, we don't mind friendly or friends because end of the day, your audience saw you interact in a friendly manner with Fuentes.
Sure, but they say me that I disagree with all of his ideas, that we debate things constantly. Yeah.
Okay. Sure. Yeah, sure. Yeah. Okay, cool. So, in regards to Fuentes, I think that I heard you say that, like, you expect a certain level of, like, thinking from your audience. So you expect them that if they are exposed to an opinion that they have, like, you expect them to think on themselves, by themselves, not like through you. Do you still stand by that?
I mean, it depends on the topic, but in general, yes.
Okay.
But that's going to depend on the topic. But yeah, what about it?
Okay. So basically, my argument with like platforming Fuentes, for example, is that I think it's very known that if someone likes someone personally, they'll be more amicable to their positions and dispositions when they act out in negative ways. Do you disagree with that?
No, that's probably true. You'll cover for friends more either because you know them better or because you just want to cover for a friend, sure.
Exactly. So out of that perception that I have, I felt like platforming Fuentes was irresponsible because even though you were disagreeing with him on some things, like even in the panel where we were on, where you said you found him to be an impressive person, sure, on its own, it's just a statement. But if someone has grown to think Fuentes is kind of funny or like a chill dude, except for that he's a neo-Nazi or whatever, that does make them less guarded towards his opinions. Would you disagree?
It's possible, yeah.
Yeah. So my critique of the whole Fuentes situation is that I was worried that because you have a very large audience, some of them are going to be with their guard less up towards the very cancer ideas of Nick Fuentes, because they're like, well, Destiny doesn't hate this guy, and Destiny talks to this guy, and they do chill and like can be friendly. And it's all subconscious. Let's not pretend like it's like a conscious thing of like Destiny approves of Fuentes, so I guess I approve of him, you know? But you get what I'm saying. And that was basically my critique, that when you platform someone like that, it exposes your audience, or it lessens the guards that your audience has towards X
Yeah, it's
person.
possible. Sure.
Well, no, because you're saying it's possible, but I'm saying
it lessens the guards, but then there's hopefully there are things that like you do to counteract that, right? Like, I think it's possible to be friends with people that you have dramatic disagreements with and opinions. I hope that I demonstrate that with my platform. But just because you have your guard down on somebody doesn't necessarily mean that we should take what they say at like face value, right? So I can show that like, oh, like Fuentes is funny, he is smart, he is ambitious, but like there are still major disagreements we can have his platform. I don't agree that if somebody has dangerous ideas, we need to do every possible thing we can to demonize the fuck out of the person. Otherwise, we might accidentally become Nazis. I don't buy into that framework as much. I'd rather be honest about the person and be able to say things like, yeah, this guy's pretty funny, his content is like pretty good, and he's like, you know, pretty smart. But like even we can still simultaneously recognize these things in that person and disagree with the things they say.
Do you feel like I said that we should demonize people, or is this again
when you say something along the lines of like you can't recognize that the person is intelligent or funny, then it sounds like what you're saying is we've got to like create a caricature of the person.
Did I say that?
I didn't say you said that. I said it sounds like you're saying that, meaning that you implied it. So yes, I believe that when you're saying it, you cannot say a Nazi is funny, then the implication is that the opposite. We have to say, well, they're not funny, or we have to not acknowledge that at all.
Did I say that?
Okay, I don't know what you want. Okay, go. What do you want to say? Okay, what do you think? Tell me what you think. Let's say there's a funny Nazi. How should I refer to him if I'm not allowed to call him funny? Or you don't think I should call him funny?
Okay, can I explain?
Nope, just tell me, answer that question.
I need more context.
Okay,
that's why I
Nick
need to
Fuentes.
explain.
I think Nick Fuentes is funny. You probably don't want me to say that on stream. So if somebody asks me about like his humor, what should I say instead? What's a better thing to say?
Wait, why don't I want you to say it on stream?
Because if I say that he's funny, then we'll let our guard down and we'll laugh at his jokes, and then we're more likely to be amenable to the bad things that he says.
Okay.
That is your argument. Wait, do you disagree that that's your argument?
I think that if that's what you distill my argument to, then I'm either speaking very unclearly, or you're, I guess, kind of strong. I'm not sure.
Okay, hold on.
Happening.
Let me restate your argument. This is exactly what you're saying. If I'm misunderstanding this, then you're speaking poorly. It sounds like what you're saying. It sounds like what you're saying is that if we take figures and we kind of like compliment them on strong points of them being like intelligent or funny or whatever, and then we act like in a personable way because of those traits, that we're more likely to be gentler when they say crazy shit like we should deport all black people or Jews are the cause of all the problems in the world. So we should be careful about giving praise or consideration to people that have like really abhorrent ideas. That's what it sounds like you're saying. Am I completely wrong on that?
Not completely.
Okay, that sounds exactly what you're saying. I don't know what else you could have possibly implied, but you can tell me where I'm wrong or missing on that.
Okay. I was building off the understanding that we were roughly working from the same platform of what your relationship with Nick Fuentes professionally was. So I'm not talking about saying Steven Crowder has a funny face and you kind of want to fuck him. You can compliment whoever you want. Like, I don't care. What I was saying is that Nick Fuentes was a figure that was around your community. In fact, he was called Nick by people a lot of the time.
Wait, what's wrong with that?
I'll explain to you once I'm done making my point.
Okay.
So basically, you had a professional relationship with Fuentes that didn't just extend to, oh yes, I gave a neo-Nazi a compliment once or twice, or said this argument of theirs was good. There was chicken and waffles, there was come to my house, there was sometimes just chill moments between disagreements. Do you disagree that that's reality?
No, that sounds like an accurate summary of what happened. Yeah, I just don't think any of that's necessarily bad. Yeah.
Okay. My critique is that that entire context lends itself to your audience being exposed, experiencing, well, when I say exposed, you feel like, sure, can't people be exposed to neo-Nazis? My argument is that when that is the context we are speaking about, it does lower the guard that some people in your audience have towards the more toxic elements of Nick Fuentes.
Yeah, I feel like you just restated what I said almost verbatim, but you were really unhappy with how I phrased it. But okay, yeah, I agree with what you're saying now.
Oh my god. Okay, I will take a second to recenter myself. Ooh. Okay.
Okay.
So. Mm-hmm. Do you really think that was verbatim what you said?
I think you just essentially restated what I said, yeah. But that's fine, whatever, go ahead.
Okay. So you think what I just said implies that you can't compliment neo-Nazis on their humor?
That I have to be careful of doing that, because if we start like paying attention to their positive traits, it makes people more like warm towards or accepting of their negative traits, yes.
Okay, then let's discuss the concrete example that I brought up. We were on a panel together on what's the biggest threat to progressives, where you were arguing that basically progressives is the biggest issue to progressive. And in the context of that panel, Nick Fuentes was brought up, and you chose to say Nick Fuentes is impressive and has done more in his field and towards his goal, which is neo-Nazism,
yes,
than most progressive.
Yep.
Which is a factually true statement. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Good. Do you not think that might make some people in your audience, not an insignificant amount, feel like there are, in that moment when you juxtapose progressives who are shitty and sitting on Twitter online all day, and Nick Fuentes, who's a hardworking man towards his goals, don't you think that's creating a problematic image that maybe you shouldn't advertise to thousands of people?
No, I think that the image is that progressives need to do better, and we need to hold progressive content creators to higher standards. I haven't watched it yet, but I've heard that apparently Vosh just said something about how he has autism, so he can never do real political action. That's fucking insane. Also, I don't believe that Vosh is even autistic, but like, so I mean, I think the important thing is to mirror it to like, well, what do our progressive figures do? We've got Hassan, who buys dogs for rich people, and then we've got Vosh, who says he has too much autism to get on an airplane. I think it's okay to make that comparison and show that our side is lacking. Yes.
Okay, so when you make that comparison, it's less about praising the person you're friendly with and more about putting down progressives.
That was the point of the conversation. The point of the conversation was, what is the biggest threat to progressives? And my answer was progressives. So yeah, of course.
Okay. Whew. How do I address this?
Do you need to take a break and grab a Diet Coke? Are you okay?
Yeah, Diet Coke? What the fuck are you saying right now? I will take a sip of my Coke. I don't drink Diet Coke.
Oh,
how dare you? Okay. So, I get that that's the point you were trying to make. Do you disagree that a not insignificant amount of people in your audience might see that as just a way to increase their vitriol towards progressives.
It might be, I guess.
No, don't. It might be me.
It could be, but I'm not. That's not an argument for me to not engage in that behavior. If progressives are having vitriol engendered towards them because of their actions, then that's not something that I'm concerned with. But yeah, it's possible.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. That's how we got here, right? Because I was saying, hey, you're saying certain things that has certain influences over your audience, and then you either say that you don't, but it's not that you're saying that you don't. You're saying that it doesn't dissuade you.
No, hold on. You're playing a dangerous game here, mixing things up.
Not.
If you
oh my fucking god!
Can I finish? Fuck. If your initial thing was, do you think you said some things online that might make your audience like progressives less? I probably agree with you. That wasn't what you opened with. You came off the back of the blue tea thing and the DDoS kid thing, making it sound way more extreme than just some of your audience might not like progressives as much because of how you talk about them. I probably agree with that.
Oh my god. Okay. I'm using examples. My original argument was, if you remember, that it seems that part of the critiques that especially progressives levy at you don't hit with you because you feel like there's a greater level of separation between what you do and say versus how your audience
and I disagreed with that in the beginning. I think that my audience probably carries a lot of what I say to other parts of the internet. I think my audience is very fucking influenced by the things I say, so I wouldn't agree with that, even that initial premise, which I think I already said. So that's why I gave the two examples of banning the faggot word and doing cross-platform bans, because I try to hold my community really accountable. I think a lot of things I say carry with these fucking crazy people.
Okay. So, but then you say, there are some things that I'm willing to restrict my behavior around. Wait, but even the two examples you gave are not stuff that you had to change. It's stuff you just enforced on your community.
No, hold on. Me saying faggot was a big change, bro. Do you know how hard it was in 2012, 2013 to let go of that? That was an important word to the RTS community, okay? That was one of the cornerstones of our vernacular, all right?
Okay, so you're saying that you chose to not say the word faggot while you banned it?
Correct.
Okay, good. What's the other one?
The other one was doing cross-platform ban enforcements, which I guess that's not arguably my action of banning people. I guess that's punishing them in a unique way for their actions, but...
Okay, cool. So, what I'm specifically talking about is actions that you do that I take issue with, and you can say like, hey, I don't care about this critique. It's not going to make me to change my behavior, which you did during the looping panel where you said this doesn't fit into 180 characters, so I'm not gonna make like 2 tweets about this, right? That's like a quote-unquote valid thing you can say. Like, you can just say, I don't want to change my behavior, right?
Okay.
But then I'm allowed to say, okay, but if you don't change your behavior, even though you recognize it has leverage over your audience, I'm allowed to criticize you that you're influencing your audience in a certain way. And obviously you do.
Yeah, but I think the ultimate meta, the overarching goal of this conversation, I would imagine, is what you're trying to demonstrate to me is, hey, you're probably influencing your audience in a way that you don't want to. I imagine that's your goal of this conversation, right? You're probably trying to get me to say like...
that would be pointless.
Oh, but then wait, then what the fuck is the point of this conversation? You're just looking for dunks?
Dunks? No, okay.
Aren't you trying to encourage me to change my behavior because I might be influencing my audience in a way that is not good for what I'd want them to think?
Well, I think you're a very intelligent person, and I think you know what you want. And I think you've heard enough critiques to know what you're fine influencing your audience and what you're not finding in influencing your audience towards. So I don't think that a random butterfly coming into your chat and being like, you're progressive, but you are mean to progressive, I don't think that's going to change your mind.
Wait, then what is the goal what is your goal for this conversation?
My goal for this conversation is to understand how much level of responsibility you assume to yourself, so I can have more accurate critiques of the behaviors that you choose.
Okay, I assume a pretty high level of responsibility. I assume that people that I have moderation powers over.
Finish.
My bad. Sorry, go ahead, Miss Katie.
Okay. So, all I was saying is that I have realized, first of all, I'm not interested in critiquing people for things. Like if I say, oh, Destiny, you do X bad, and then you say, well, I'm fine doing this X bad, then it would be stupid of me to just continue whining about that. What I will start whining about is that you are fine doing X bad, even though you're saying that you're aware that it is X bad.
My shit is glitching. These people shouldn't even be breaking out of here. Sorry, go ahead.
It's all good. So my point is not to like convince you of anything, because I don't think I can convince you of anything.
I understand. So I don't understand how you're not just here for dunks then, or what exactly are you here for?
What dunks? Okay. I'm here for because we are not friends. I cannot have private conversations with you about choices that you make. So if I want to hear your opinion and your state of mind about a choice that you made publicly, I have to come here and ask you, which is what I'm doing.
Okay. I don't fully understand that sentence, but go for it. Okay, fine.
Well,
I don't know what I'm asking you. Why you're asking? Is it just so you can critique me better? That's what you said?
Yes.
Okay, but what is the point of making a critique of me?
What is the point of making a critique of you? You are a very large content creator that has a lot of influence in this space. And when I make inaccurate critiques of you, people get very mad at me. So if I'm going to make critiques of you, I want them to be accurate enough and fair to you.
Okay,
and
you're
your
telling me
state of
what you
mind as
want
well.
them to be. I'm asking you why. Why do you want them to be accurate? What is the goal of critiquing me?
Oh, okay. I don't think you are going to change, but I think if I make accurate critiques, part of the people in your audience are going to feel worse about some of your actions, and that is my goal.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think that you are changeable. I think some people from some sections of your audience might have some issues with some of your behaviors, but because people make inaccurate critiques of you, they're not really led through it in a effective way.
Gotcha. Okay, so your goal is to turn my audience against me. All right. Go ahead.
Is that how you... do you think that's fair?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Don't you think that's a really childish response to what I said?
No, that is the goal. The goal is you think if you can critique me hard enough that audience members of mine will become resentful, and that'll either be the impetus for me to change or for them to leave.
Do you think I told people to leave your audience?
I don't understand how you have this amazing conception of how by subtly complimenting a Nazi, it could lead to people, blah, blah, blah. You have all this pipeline figured out, but then when you say something as blatant as like, I want to make your audience mad at you with better critiques, you're like, well, how could that make anybody ever leave?
Oh, that's not what I'm saying.
That's what you just said. That's what you just said.
That's not... I didn't say, oh, that could never make anyone leave. I said that when you're describing my actions and intentions, you know jack shit about me, but you assume a lot.
I just asked you. That's what you just told me. You said you want to make my fans upset with my behavior.
I said that I think some of your fans might have critiques of certain behaviors that you have. And I want them to stop whining and sucking your dick.
No, that's not what you said. That was like part of the... That was a step. You said
no. I'm explaining what I said because you obviously don't get what I'm saying. Okay?
All right.
I want them, instead of sucking on your dick, to just be like, yeah, I do think it was a problematic thing that Destiny did. I still like him as a content creator. I still want to talk, listen to him. But yeah, I do think that was bad.
Okay, so you want to foster resentment in my fan base towards me. Is that a better way to say it?
That is so... How can you say that my people are
that's
the
what you're...
one,
I don't understand how you don't know that's what you're doing. I don't know.
You know what? Yeah. You know what? That's fine. If you want to call that resentment, you can call it however you want.
Well,
I think if
you're making somebody resentful over the behavior they're exhibiting.
Steven?
Yes?
If someone thinks they are validly critiquing you and they resent you for it, don't you think that's a natural thing to do? Don't you think that's healthy?
That what?
Do you think you do nothing wrong, nothing that is worth of ever being critiqued? I don't think you think that.
Okay.
No, you answer me.
I'd have to think about that a lot, but I'll say in general, I probably do some things that are worth criticizing, maybe, yeah.
Okay, so if I point those things out and I ask your audience to say, yeah, I don't like this thing that Destiny did, that's me asking them to leave your community?
I don't know. The more human thing would be like, I want to bring this to your attention so I can change your mind on it.
Wait, what? To you or to them?
To me. Like, we're having a conversation right now.
Yeah, but you don't change your mind, Destiny.
What are you talking? I just gave you 2 examples of novel things that I've done in the streaming space. I've changed my mind on tons of things over the years.
Wait, you mean 10 years ago when you banned the word faggot?
That's one thing, and the cross-platform ban enforcement is also another thing I do. Yeah, sure. We could probably think of other things. I've changed my mind on a lot of different things. I toned my Twitter behavior down a ton over the past year, and because of like feedback that I've gotten from people. Yeah, what do you mean? I've changed the whole way that I deal with like conservatives. It's a whole like new paradigm of my approach. I got famous for bullying the at people 6 years ago in debates, and now I try to be like way more chill. I wouldn't have entertained a conversation like this, for instance, like 5 or 6 years ago. I would have called you retarded and banned you from my Discord. So yeah, I think I've changed a lot of my behavior. Yeah.
Okay, let me ask you a question then.
Okay.
Do you think that the only way to engage with people having behaviors of yours that they disagree with is to bring it up to you and then fight you until you change your mind on it?
No, I think it's to bring up like a criticism of somebody and you say like, hey, this is a thing you do. I think you probably shouldn't do this because it probably doesn't comport with the values that you say you have. So you should either change the behavior or be more honest about your values. I think that's generally the way to do it.
Okay, but what if you then say, I actually know my values better than you, and I don't feel like this clashes with my values? What do I do then?
Then you either leave it there, or you try to turn their fan base against them, which is what you've decided to do.
Oh my fucking God. Okay, that's fine.
Well, here, let's say, okay, so this is a criticism I've given.
I think it's...
No, let me do a thing.
Let me do a really childish way of looking at it?
No, I think you're being retarded or dishonest right now. So let me give you this is a criticism that I've had of you in the past. I think we've talked about this publicly. It's you and Pixie. I think that you guys have like there's ways that you intonate that I think turns people against you immediately, even though they don't necessarily disagree with what you're saying, right? That's like a criticism I've given you. But I gave you that criticism and I said like, oh, maybe there's something you should change, and that was it. And if you decide not to, and I was like, okay, fine, then she decided not to. But imagine if I were to say something like, okay, today I want to bring on Katie's fans and I'm going to try to convince you guys that she intonates in a way that's very ineffective for speaking. What would that feel like to you?
Do you feel like that's a comparable
I'm asking
thing?
you to answer that question. What would that feel like to you?
That would hurt my feelings very much.
Okay, you're not going to answer the question. All right. Well, in that case, let's keep going. Where do you want to go? I've taken my sword and I'm ready. Let's go.
I just answered it.
That's your real answer? It would hurt your feelings?
Yeah, it would hurt my feelings.
Why would it hurt your feelings?
Because a bunch of people conjugating about talking about how my voice is annoying wouldn't feel good.
Okay. I would say that the one step further is that it would probably feel pretty gross if my entire goal for these conversations was to I didn't even care to convince you. I just want to start turning your fans against you so that either they do it or they leave. Because that's what's going to happen from that, right?
Can you, okay, I'm going to try this again.
Thank you.
I think
Please, thank you for being so patient with me. Go ahead.
I think you're a very smart person.
Thank you.
And I think I am not the first person to bring critiques to you.
True.
So, when you do something that I disagree with, I assume that 100 people have already talked to you about it.
Okay.
And then I also talk to you about it.
Okay.
And then I ask you lots and lots of questions about how you think about it and how you feel about it. And then you tell me, hey, look, this is how I feel like I handle my platform. I think I'm doing it responsibly. If I'm still left with the notion, I don't feel like he's handling it responsibly, and he's saying that he feels like he does, then that's an impasse. I'm not going to spend the rest of my life trying to convince an adult man that they're wrong about their opinions.
But you are going to try to convince my audience.
I'm not trying to...
It's okay to say yes to that. It's not a gotcha. You can say like, yeah, I do want your audience to not like you for this. That's fine. I don't know why you would deny that.
Wait. Okay. I did say that I want your audience to stop sucking your dick when there's no need to do that.
I don't know why you're getting hyperbolic. What you're trying to do is you're trying to call out a particular behavior that you want my audience to not tolerate from me. That's what you're essentially doing. which is fine.
Well,
I don't know why you don't just own that position.
Wait.
That's my meme, by the way, but go ahead.
Is that your meme?
Yeah, I'm the one that invented, wait. That's literally my meme. But go ahead.
I don't even know where that came from. Okay. So, what do you mean by not tolerate?
As in, like, demand that the behavior changes, or they either watch me less or stop watching me?
Okay, so in terms of what I want your audience to do, it would depend on how the individual audience member feels about what you did. For example, I'm sure there are some people who feel very, very uncomfortable with something specific, but you've contributed to their lives in many, many positive ways. So they would feel uncomfortable to just like, Destiny is a big part of my life. He really influenced me.
Yeah, but some people would probably leave, right?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, and that's what you're trying to start that, right?
I'm trying to make people leave your community if they disagree with you. Yes, I guess.
Okay, that's all I'm saying. That's not necessarily a bad thing, but sure. When I argue with people like Fuentes, I hope that like people don't listen to him as much. That's part of my goal in arguing with them. Like, yeah, I don't think that this guy's ideas are good. Yeah, that's my goal. That's fine.
Yeah, sure. Then if you want me to say it like that, it's just that it's a problem when you then load it with like, you're trying to turn my community against me, and you're trying to make people resent me.
That's what you're doing, though. That's fine.
But you're saying it in a very like upsetty spaghetti way.
It's not upsetty spaghetti. It's what you're doing. It's very like malevolent. Like, but I mean that's fine. It is because you're trying to turn my audience against me on a behavior that
you're doing the thing again. Why,
I'm not. I'm just saying factually what's happening. It's like
it's malevolent.
Because it's a very like I'm trying to like kind of take you out kind of way. I'm trying to like stir up your fan base to be really upset about a behavior that you disagree with me on, and that's my goal is to like get them like riled up so that they want to like either stop watching you or like force you to change the behavior.
Okay, so when you were debating Fuentes to try to make people listen to him less, you were being malevolent as well, right?
Yeah, a bit. Yeah, our ideas are almost completely contrary to one another. Yeah, if you're listening to me and you're hearing things that are like, damn, this is actually I kind of vibe with this, then you're probably thinking for Nick like, oof, I don't actually vibe with Nick on this. This is kind of fucked up. Yeah, of course. And he's trying to do the same to my audience, right?
If you're being malevolent when you're speaking to other people you disagree with, then yeah, I guess I'm malevolent too. I just think that since, again, you are a smart man and the people that I talk to keep telling me how you have the best social skills ever, I think you understand that I don't even know how many people are watching right now because I'm not reading chat. But let's say there are
I don't know either, don't worry.
Yeah, let's say there are 2,000 people watching right now, and you tell me that I'm behaving in a way that is trying to turn your audience against you, and that I'm being malevolent. I don't think that you don't understand that paints me in a very specific way towards your audience. You might not care that it does.
I mean, it's going to paint you as somebody that's like coming against me, but you're doing that all on your own. Like, that's...
Yeah, but you're acting like people aren't allowed to come against... Okay.
Damn, I can't believe these Mr. Girl narratives are actually fucking penetrating your fucking retarded skulls. This actually blows my fucking mind. If you're saying, wait, hold on, no, hold on, wait.
Don't do this, you people crap.
I am going to, because I think that these things are more effective than I initially thought, okay? When you say I'm not willing to hear criticism, bro, I've had you on here for like an hour to essentially like anti-fan my fan base. I think I'm being like more, and I'm trying to answer your questions as honestly as possible. I'm giving you a lot of room to talk. I've let you cut me off and finish, and I cut you off sometimes. Like, I feel like I'm being pretty, I'm trying to answer questions honestly as possible. I don't know how somebody could come away from this conversation, and you're like a very small creator. I'm not shitting on you, but it's not like you're like a person who's like, oh, I need to get on their good side. I have nothing to gain right now, okay, from having this conversation with you. Right? It's not like I'm like, so I like the idea that like, oh, it seems like you're not open to criticism. That's a narrative that Mr. Girl Paris is just, that's...
Do you realize I've never said that?
What did you just say? I'm sorry, what did you say? Could you restate it? Because that's what I heard.
I get that you're...
No, wait, don't make a joke. No, don't make a joke. Tell me what you just said. What did you just say? It sounded like you said, it sounds like I'm not open to criticism. Did I mishear that? Did I totally strawman that, or?
I don't remember saying something like that.
Okay.
If you don't remember, how do you know you didn't say it?
Well, if she doesn't remember saying it,
I'm not gonna lie.
Sure, but wait. if we rewind the tape, it sounded like that was almost exactly what you said, that it sounds like I'm not willing to allow people to bring criticism to me. I think that's what you were on the verge of saying.
No, I stopped myself in the middle because that was not what I was trying to say anyways.
Oh, it sounded like you stopped yourself because I stopped you. But go ahead.
Yeah, okay. What I'm saying is that it sounds like the way that you're painting it is that people are coming after you. Not because there are legitimate concerns, but they have illegitimate concerns, and then they try to turn your fan base against you if they can't convince you of the illegitimate concern.
I mean, I think the concerns, I think the concerns are illegitimate, obviously. If it was a legitimate concern, I'd probably listen to it. So yeah, of course, we have substantial or substantive disagreements. We're actually disagreeing on whether the behavior I'm engaging in is bad or irresponsible, whatever. Yeah. So of course, I'm going to fight back on the characterizations that you were making of me. I think that anybody would do that, of course. Like when I say something and you disagree with how I'm characterizing you, you're fighting back against that characterization. I don't think you're doing that because you're closed to criticism. I think it's because you disagree with the way that I'm characterizing your arguments, which is fine. But I think you were about to say that I'm making it like people can't go against me. Like, I'm fine with that. But I mean, I'm allowed to disagree with you. Okay. Don't do the 1 HP voice. Fuck you.
You're allowed to disagree with me. Obviously, this is your platform. And even if it wasn't your platform, you were allowed to disagree with me. But this specific, scuffle came from me saying, hey, look, if I can't change your mind, and we agree that we're all malevolent in the way that we're trying to influence each other's audiences, why are you making it sound like there's something bad about me?
Sure, let me explain. And I understand that I've maybe poisoned this community because I've been the most fucking gracious person when it comes to being a large figure, okay? For most content creators, I'm not exaggerating with what I just said, okay? So I'm
sure you're not.
I know, this is the year of boundaries, so I'm trying to reset some of these things, okay? The idea that a person could come into a community just to learn how to air grievances more effectively against them, to get their fans to be unhappy with their behavior, is something that 99% of content creators would outright insta-ban. Most people would never entertain that conversation. Do you acknowledge that, or do you think I'm being hyperbolic there?
I think that's fair.
Okay, so I think it's okay for me to make you, or at least my audience, aware of that's kind of what's happening. I don't think that's unfair of me. I don't think it makes me closed-minded. That's just a reality of the situation, that if you're going to come here, and do that, then of course I'm going to mention it. You're just trying to hurt my fan base.
Let me ask you something. Okay. It's the year of is it the year of vulnerability too, or just boundaries?
What, I can be as vulnerable as you want me to be. What's up?
Okay. Does that hurt your feelings?
Does it hurt my feelings? Okay, define hurt my feelings, I guess.
Okay. Does it make you feel resentful or upset or underappreciated or hurt in some way?
Some of those words, yeah. It's mainly annoying that that somebody would think that their goal needs to be to turn my fan base against me because we can't disagree over how we feel about a particular action I have, I guess, yeah.
Okay.
Can I say what it feels like as a dick sucker?
Okay.
Oh my God.
It just... Katie, it just kind of seems like really dehumanizing what you're doing, which is coming on here, you're complimenting him, stroking his ego, telling him he's so smart, but then also telling him, I know I can't convince you, so I'm just talking to your audience. Whereas I think we understand that he likes these conversations, or probably likes these debates, because people are actually engaging with him. So to have it and to realize after this long, an hour in, that you actually don't think that you're going to change his mind, you're just talking to the audience. It's like he's not even there.
Okay.
I think that's a fair summary. Yeah.
Okay.
Because you essentially saying, you're writing me off. You're like, okay, well, Destiny's beyond reach, so I'm just going to try to convince his audience that he's a bad person for these things.
Okay. So you felt...
And just to be clear, I think it's really hard to put an emotion on what it feels like to be dehumanized. So you're asking things like, does it hurt your feelings? Are you sad? Do you feel this? Just overall, just the feeling of not being a person to another individual, very hard to articulate.
That's great. Thank you. So you feel that in this conversation, Steven, that I was not talking to you at all. I was talking to your audience.
Yes.
Okay.
Or in terms of not talking to, you're not trying to persuade me. Because that's why I asked, like, what was the point of this conversation? To try to, like, yeah. And then I said, like, well, usually you're trying to persuade somebody something that you're like, no, you're already a lost cause. I'm just trying to, like, stir up your fan base to get pissed at you instead. That's what it
Let me ask you a question.
Go for it.
Do you think I could convince you that having sex with your orbiters is wrong and irresponsible?
It's possible if you made the right argument. But I mean, I don't think you can know, because it's a conversation I've had a lot before, and I would be surprised if you could bring up some novel thing relating to that conversation. But I mean, it's possible. You changed my mind on the Jordan Peterson stuff, and I was super against you initially on that. I mean, it's possible if you make the right argument, sure.
Okay. So since that's what you're saying, you think it would be unfair of me to think I don't have a novel argument, so therefore I should just not talk to him about it?
I mean, you can try if you want. I don't know how to make you understand how weird it feels when you say, like, I can't convince you, I'm just going to turn your fan base against you. That's essentially...
Yeah, but the thing is, I didn't say that.
Okay. You also said other things, like, well, I don't have proof right now, even though...
When did I say that?
You
About what?
The belief. The reason why you went into the topic of Fuentes.
When did I say
like you were trying
proof?
to listen, I'm not going to deal with your fucking memory loss. Whatever. You guys go on.
Thank you.
I think it was when I was asking for examples of things.
Yeah. I think I supplied examples. But
Well,
okay.
I think
you specifically said you don't have any right now.
Didn't you say you were going to let us talk?
Yeah, I lied.
Okay. Yeah, I thought so. So, Steven?
Yep.
I am totally open to have this conversation. I think you misunderstood some of the things I was saying. That's completely fine. I don't feel comfortable around Cherry, so I'm gonna leave.
Okay, wait, hold on. Cherry will step out and we can finish the conversation, okay?
Okay. See ya.
Be careful, bud. Okay.
Okay. Cool. So, you said that when you talk to Fuentes and you're trying, and you want people to listen to him less, that's malevolent?
In a way, yeah, from his perspective, yes.
Okay. When you talk to Fuentes, do you feel like you can change his mind?
Given enough time, maybe? But at the very least,
Okay.
I think for his audience, I think I can, yeah. I hope so.
Okay. So you would be fine with Fuentes saying, it's really dehumanizing to me when you're talking to me right now, but you're actually talking to my audience and not me?
No, I'm okay with him thinking that, because we're like political enemies. That's fine. I'm not his friend. If he was like, listen, Destiny, I feel like when we're having conversations, you're trying to like fucking turn my audience to like completely like not like me. I'd be like, yeah, of course. We are ideologically like opposite from each other. But like
Okay.
we're not friends or anything. Yeah, of course I would expect him. But I'm sure he knows that, right? He's trying to do the same to me. Like,
Okay. Am I your friend?
we're like friendly.
Okay. So is what you just said about Fuentes not applicable to us?
Not really, because I view our political like our political goals or whatever, I think are hopefully more closely aligned than me and Fuentes.
I think that's fair. I would hope that our political goals are, well, it would be very hard to assume that our political goals don't align more than me and a neo-Nazi. So I guess that's completely fair.
Okay.
Yes. So, you feel dehumanized?
Yeah, I guess a little bit, yeah.
Okay. So, do you feel like the words that I used to describe your feelings were insufficient?
No, I just don't think you care about them very much.
Why do you feel like I don't care about your feelings?
Because you are either incredibly autistic or you're just incredibly inconsiderate in saying things like, oh yeah, like I can't change your mind, but I'm going to make your audience really not like you for the behavior that you engage in.
Okay. So, I'm gonna explain to you about myself. And you can call me a liar or dishonest or whatever you want, but I'm just gonna be very clear.
Okay.
Okay? I don't like lying.
Okay.
And I believe in honesty.
Okay.
And I communicate very directly and as honest correctly as I can, because I want to treat people who are in front of me like equal adults to me.
Okay.
So it would be very dumb and deceitful of me to try to weasel and lie about what I feel and what I want.
Yeah, I already disagree with part of what you said, right?
Okay.
When you say treat people...
Do you want to tell me that?
That's what I was just doing. Yeah, so when you say, like, treat people in front of me like adults or whatever, I can't imagine you having a conversation with, like, a teacher in front of the class or something, and you say something like, the teacher's like, well, why wouldn't you ask me to change the way that I teach or something? And you say something like, well, I'm not here to convince you to change your teaching methods. I don't think you'll listen to anything I say, but I bet I can get your students so upset that they try to get you to change your teaching methods. Like, that's like a pretty, like, dehumanizing thing to say, because you're not even talking then to the professor. You're just like, you're talking at the professor, hoping the students like stir up resentment against the professor.
Oh yeah. Okay, so we can address that thing now, even though I was unfinished, but it's whatever. In this specific conversation, I'm not talking to your audience. If I was, I would be looking at chat or whatever. Well, that's not true. I wouldn't look at chat either way. Your chat doesn't like me. But I came to talk to you because I need to know what you think.
Yeah, but you're not talking to me for the purposes of having a back and forth conversation about my behavior. You're talking to me in order to become more rhetorically effective at my audience.
Which is what your audience asks me to do when I critique you.
Yeah, but I would hope that if there is an issue or something related to me, you could just talk to me about it instead of saying, I'm not going to change your mind. I'm just going to get your audience, like, to hate you.
Okay. So now I'm going to make my second point.
Okay.
I have talked to you
Okay.
several times about issues that I have had with you.
Okay.
I have seen that I have asked you questions in those instances about what you think and what you want to do. It has become clear to me that my criticisms are that I don't have a way to make the novel critiques that you need to be made, or that I have the rhetorical tools to convince you of that. Therefore, I see you as an adult who has agency and ability to make their own decisions. So, I'm not going to spend the rest of my life treating you like a baby, trying to convince you of things that you have clearly stated you are either disinterested in or am not going to change your mind about unless I have a certain argument that I can't make.
Okay,
so
what do you think my action is from there, if that's what you truly believe? What do you think I should do from that point?
From where?
From what you just said. What should I do if what you just told me is your genuine feelings?
I don't understand.
Like, how should I treat you? How should I engage with you?
You can engage with me how
I know I can, but I'm asking, what do you think is the most reasonable action for me to take? Course of action.
If you don't agree with my critiques.
Yeah.
Most reasonable. Most reasonable would depend on who you are as a person, and I don't know who you are as a person.
Okay, for 99% of people, the most reasonable thing would be to just permaban you from my server and never talk to you again, right? Because you're saying that, like,
okay.
I'm beyond reach to you. You've made good arguments. Apparently, there's no way you can be wrong. I must be incorrect. So now your next phase is to create anti-fans. You're trying to learn my arguments as good as possible to get my fans to be upset with the things that I'm saying, so that you can slowly get them to be convinced that my positions are incorrect. So, like, why would I ever engage with you at that point? That's like what 99% of people feel like. Why would I ever have an engagement with a person whose only goal is to learn my arguments better to turn my audience against me?
Okay. Do you think I can never be wrong?
It's kind of the way that you're speaking is, yeah.
Okay, so when you and I have had back and forth, like today's back and forth about like the orbiter thing, or like the retaliation thing, you don't think you could have convinced me otherwise?
It doesn't sound like it. No, it doesn't sound like you're open to being convinced on any of this stuff. I don't even think we've had like a formal debate on like orbiter sex, but it seems like you already think that I'm like completely wrong about that and can never be persuaded away. So, and then the way that you speak about like, oh well, I can't reach you, so I'm gonna talk about the way that you speak, it makes it sound like, yeah, you can't have a conversation with me, like it's over.
Okay, so maybe I am not making myself clear.
Okay, I think you were pretty clear, but.
No, because like you keep saying that I'm trying to turn your fans against you, and you're saying it as if it's like a bad thing, even though you said it's fine if you disagree with someone.
I'm not saying it like it's a bad thing. Don't normatively load my words. I'm just saying that's what it is. It's a bad thing from my perspective, of course, but it's not like necessarily wrong. Like I said, I do it to other people that I would disagree with, right?
No, but if you then say it's dehumanizing to you, then
it's okay to be a little dehumanizing. I'm a little bit dehumanizing towards Nick. I don't treat him like, yeah, fuck, Jesus. I completely disagree with a lot of the things that he says. And I'm using him to some extent as a means to an end to like change the way that our audiences like view our perspectives.
Oh, okay. Then let me say it like this. I think that my way of influencing you is very limited. I've spoken to you about certain issues, and I do not have the rhetorical tools to change your mind about those issues. I also feel like you have very little, like business-wise reasons to come around on those issues.
Maybe you're just wrong on those issues, and I'm not. Is that possible?
Okay. Of course it's possible.
Okay. But then why would you think that like I'm trying to think, like, there's things that I disagree with you a lot on, but I would never think like I need to go to your community and I need to get Katie's fans to understand how fucking wrong she is on this particular topic until they start badgering her about it.
Do you think I go to when did I go to your community?
Right now. You're not here to talk to me. You're here to learn how to talk to my community. That's what you said.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember when I said we are not friends, so you will not have a private conversation with me? So the only way I can speak to you is to come to you like this?
Why? I don't know what you... I mean, it's possible to have a private conversation. I don't know what you mean by that.
Okay. Would you like to have the rest of this conversation privately?
If you want to, yeah. We just have to figure out a time, but yeah.
Okay, then I'd love to do that. I didn't know I had an avenue to vent out my personal critiques of you privately. That seemed like not something that am I an orbiter? Like anti-fans or butterflies can do. I am happy to hear that I have that avenue. If you want to ban me off your platform, that is fair too. I did not come here, however, to talk to your audience. As I've made it very clear, your audience is not very receptive to me. I came here to talk to you. And if you and I disagree and you don't think that I'm right and I don't think that you're right, then we go from there. That is what I said.
Okay. I mean, I heard you say that you came here to learn more effective arguments to use against me when my audience is like in your chat. That's what I heard.
Okay. So
But
what
I'm-
I said.
Yeah, go ahead.
So
Tom.
what I said was that I came here to talk to you, to hear your opinions and thoughts and your conceptualizations of issues.
Mm-hmm.
So when I levy critiques about you, I actually know what I'm fucking talking about. Which is weird that you would find it dehumanizing, since you constantly tell your chat that when people criticize you, they should ask for examples, specific things to substantiate, and that's what your chat does with me. So I come here to the fucking source to ask you what you think and what you feel so I can make better, more nuanced critiques about you. And
Yeah,
that
but your
makes you
goal
feel
isn't to change my mind.
not it makes
right?
you dehumanized.
Yeah.
And
Because your goal
unseen.
isn't to have a conversation with me to change my mind. Your goal is to change my mind through getting my community to disagree with me.
Okay, let me ask you a question.
Go ahead.
And I guess, we'll see how it goes from there.
Okay.
I see it, and if you disagree with this, you can call me autistic or whatever you want.
Okay. Base.
I see it as a sign of respect I have for you, that I will not spend the rest of my online existence bitching about stuff that you have made very clear to me, boundary-wise, that you don't give a fuck about. So
Okay.
I am moving on to critiques that I actually think are valid, because I'm not going to critique someone for eating vanilla ice cream when they said, I know I'm eating vanilla ice cream and I'm fine with it. I'm not going to keep whining that they eat vanilla ice cream. I'm going to be like, this adult has decided that vanilla ice cream tastes good. Therefore, I will criticize them since I think vanilla ice cream is actually abusive towards Jews, okay? I see it as a sign of respect. I'm sorry if you don't see it that way.
Do you think this conversation has been respectful?
I think that I'm losing my temper right now.
Why?
Because...
Or not why do you think you're losing your temper? Like, what are the reasons why you think I'm saying, like, what's causing you to lose your temper?
I feel... It makes me sad that I feel like I've tried to be fair and respectful to you, and that is not how that's interpreted, and that makes me sad.
Okay. I understand what you're saying. I would say, I don't know how many people you communicate with in general. I will take some responsibility, I guess, for setting the expectations for how people deal with me. But I think that the overall tone of this has been pretty disrespectful, has been like hyper accusatory, and has been like relatively dehumanizing in the admission that nothing you say is ever going to change my mind. So your goal is to just argue with my orbiters. But I know that I've kind of like set the standard that it's okay to talk to me that way, and I'll just be chill with it. But I think that most people would interpret this as like I said before, if you had laid out those clear goals of like, I can't change your mind, but I can get your audience to get like resentful over things, where I guess we're disagreeing that you said that, but I think that most people say like, oh, okay, well, I'm never going to talk to you because you're not even interested in having a conversation with me. You're just trying to turn my audience against me. But
so, and maybe I'm going to say this again,
okay,
and you just tell me if it means nothing to you.
Okay.
But I said that I came here to talk to you, to hear your thoughts and opinions about things.
But not so you could change my mind, so that you could get my audience's mind changed.
Okay, let me ask you a question. Do you think that if we had talked and I've gotten your thoughts and opinions on things, and I didn't just ask you questions, I also told you what I think, right? I levied critiques, correct? So I didn't hold my cards. I didn't hide them.
I'm not saying you did.
Gave you.
You're missing. I don't understand.
Wait.
Okay,
No, please. So you think that if you had reacted to my critiques in a way that I was like, oh, I think he sees my point, maybe I can make a difference here. You think that I wouldn't care about that?
I think that you're upset that I don't agree with your points. So, but you think you're really correct on them. So now you need to go the next step and get my audience to agree with them to make me understand why I'm wrong. That's what it feels like, what you said.
No, that is true. Yes, I don't think I have nearly enough influence on you as people in your audience. I do think that you are used to being treated a certain way. I don't necessarily think that people from your community are going to leave, and I don't necessarily think they should leave. I just want people to not defend things that shouldn't be defended, even things that you're saying that shouldn't be defended. And that's like, maybe that's a fanaticism issue in your community and it's a small portion. Maybe that's just a portion I'm being exposed to. But when I know that there are things that you've taken full responsibility for, and then I need to argue with people about whether it was actually justified or not, I'm like, okay, well, I don't know how to explain this to someone. Here, Destiny said this, Destiny said that. So I apologize that you feel dehumanized, that I want to know what you actually think about things and not the version.
Okay, wait. Do you understand that, like, you didn't just apologize, right? I can't tell if you're me or not. You know that was, like, a backhanded, like... What you just said essentially was like, I'm sorry you're so fucking retarded. Like, I'm sorry that you didn't realize that I was coming here to get it from the source. That is exactly what you just said. Do you not realize it?
I think that you assume that I talk and like engage with people the way you're used to engage with people, and that's
I'm going by super basic social norms. Okay, this is gonna sound like an insult. I don't mean to, but are you autistic?
I'm not diagnosed.
Okay, because I can evaluate your statements a lot differently, but I don't know if you understand all the times like the super heavy implications behind a lot of the things you say.
Probably don't. I wish I had like an autism diagnosis. I haven't managed to get one throughout the years. Gonna try again. We'll have to see. But
okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I know that, I guess, without you knowing me personally, you might have certain
things that you think I'm saying. So without knowing my personality, it would be hard for you to assume otherwise.
Sure, but I'm just saying that, like, if I say something like, I'm sorry that you're so upset that I'm doing something that's, like, obviously good, that sentence structure, like, autism or not, the sentence structure implies, like, an insult, right? Like, I'm sorry that I was just doing something to, like, save your life, right? Like, that implies...
Okay, let me, so... It was backhanded. I wasn't meant to insult you.
Well, if it's backhanded, it is an insult, right? That's the whole point, right?
Okay, then it wasn't backhanded.
Okay. Oh.
I said it that way because I'm very frustrated.
Yeah, so you did an insult. I get frustrated, I insult people too.
No, oh my God. I was not insulting you. I was frustrated that this did not go the way I wanted, and I hurt your feelings. And I'm saying, I'm sorry that what I thought was an act of respect and me trying to properly engage with you is being perceived in that way. And probably, I shouldn't have said I'm sorry, because that's not an apology to you. That's just how I talk. You can critique me for that. But I don't have a need to insult you. I don't insult you.
Okay.
That is not who I am.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I'm sorry that you felt that I made you feel the way that you did.
It's all good, dude.
No, it's not, right?
Okay.
And that really sucks. And that wasn't my intention. And yeah, hopefully we can have a private conversation about it. I'll DM you. And if you feel really disrespected, you can absolutely, like, ban me and not talk to me anymore. That's fine too.
Okay.
So yeah. Thank you for giving me the time.
No problem. Have fun, be careful, okay? Jesus. Oh, my goodness.
Dehumanize. I've been thinking about it, and I feel like people have a fixation of, I don't know, trying to make sure you understand emotions from, like, a first-person point of view. Do you ever feel like that?
People try to make sure I understand emotion. Wait, what? Say that again?
Okay, I feel like you can do a thing where you explain how other people are feeling. Because you take in a lot of stories, but I don't think you ever properly explain your own emotions in a situation.
A little bit, kind of. So here's a problem. So here's the problem, okay? And this is just a mistake that I make, and it's advice that I give that I don't follow. This is advice that is highly applicable to all interpersonal relationships and professional relationships and public relationships. Setting boundaries is really important, and when you fail to do that, not only do you fuck yourself over, but you make the people around you very confused as well. And I think I probably done a poor job at explaining that, like, hey, you probably shouldn't treat me like this, because, like, it's not, like, an effective means of communicating with me or my audience or getting anything that you want to get done. And I've done a poor job of that, so I probably set expectations to people that you can just come in and say some, like, really wacky and wild shit and it'll be okay. And then I'm taking notes of, like, well, this is dumb, this is dumb, this is dumb. And then eventually things will blow up publicly, and then my audience will say, oh, well, I don't know what happened. And then I'll kind of be like, well, this is kind of weird. And then they'll be like, I don't know what happened. But in reality, there's been, like, things building up over time. But I said that, like, after Brittany, I would start, like, calling out more when I see this stuff. So now I'm doing it. So, like, with Katie, like, if she would have gone into any other stream and made that statement, like, I don't think I can communicate with you, but I think I can get your audience to, like, be against you. That's, like, a wild thing to say. Most people would be like, okay, well, now I'm going to ban you from everything because you're, like, trying to start an anti-fan community within my community. And I didn't think people don't realize sometimes, at least when they communicate with me, how wild the things they say are.
Yeah. And I just want to say, I also really liked that she said she didn't want to continue having the conversation because she was uncomfortable with me.
Yeah, that was
like,
good.
Being there. Because that gives it the opportunity for me to leave. And instead of her later going on and being like, I got dog-piled.
Sure.
As if you can't, like, communicate that in the moment.
Yeah,
I thought that was really good.
Yep.
Yeah. So what do you do from here if you know that conversation is, like, if that's her goal? I think you said that you guys are gonna just, like, talk in private.
I mean, if I truly feel that way about somebody, then I'll probably just eventually ban them or stop communicating with them, or I'll just continue to, like I said, I'm a big on, like, this cringe shit. Sunlight is the best disinfectant. As long as I'm very open about everything that's going on, then I'm okay, so that at least people know what's happening. So like if that is her goal, then I'll just remind people when they come in, here's Katie, who's trying to turn my audience against me, like let's hear her out. But I'll be like very open about that going on instead of just keeping it to myself.
And do you take her to be like five head? Because
No.
I don't.
No.
I take her to be like very not prepared, not to like in the moment in the conversation, it tends to loop. So I do think it's like a slip up to just like actually come out and say that. What
Yeah,
do
I
you
mean, I
do?
don't think she's being like evil or malicious. I think she's being like
Yeah,
very honest. Yeah,
I agree.
But I think it's
I
like
agree.
it's just a little bit fucked up. Like that's, I don't want to say autistic, but it's kind of like, how do you not realize that when you say something like that, how somebody would interpret that? You know? Wait, give me 1 second. Somebody linked a clip, I think, of her. Let me just, what is this? 46 seconds. Hold on.
Feel guilty about. For example,
Why is it so fucking
I've
quiet?
had a few relationships where
Guys. Okay, sorry. Oh, and I can't use my volume thing. All right, well, turn your volume up and then get triggered when I scream, because I can't fucking hear this clip. Okay, here we go.
thing to feel guilty about. For example, I've had a few relationships where I've either told my partner that I don't love them as much as I've loved other partners of mine, or that I've told someone that we were flirty or whatever. I told them, look, I'm fine if you're having like a crush on me or whatever, but you should know that I'm not planning on falling in love ever. So if that's an expectation and a need that you have from a partner, I can't give that to you. If you're fine with me not being in love with you, then we can be a couple. You just need to understand that I'm not in love with you. And thing to feel guilty about.
Okay, one of these things was really autistic, one of these things is okay. But, all right, sorry. Okay, go for it.
I don't get what you watched.
For the first one, apparently she's told partners, I don't love you as much as I've loved other partners, which is probably something you should never say to a significant other ever, unless you're trying to end the relationship. And then the other thing was she'll tell hookups like, I'm not looking for something serious, that's fine to say that, but okay. The second one is fine.
Don't take her to be malicious. I don't know whatever you take her for. I don't really fucking care.
Mm-hmm.
But what do you do moving forward? Because obviously people aren't just going to come right out and be like, hello, Destiny, I am here to speak to your audience because I don't think I can ever move you.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
what am I going to do with what?
People who aren't just going to, I don't know, be retarded and come right out and say that that's what they're doing.
I mean, like I said, if I feel like people are acting in ways that are probably not good for me, I'm probably just I'll be more forward about it from now on. Like, they don't have to explicitly say that, I don't think. Like, I can ask questions to tease that out. That's kind of what happened with her, is I asked questions like, well, do you think you can convince me of anything different? And she's like, no. Like,
yeah,
okay.
but didn't she just, like, flat out fucking say it? And that's how you know?
Well, but it's because I asked the questions to get there. Like, what is the goal of your conversation here? Are you trying to change my mind? And then she was like, no. I was like, oh, okay.
No. I don't know.
Is that not what happened? Is that not how we got there?
No, that's how you got there, but you got there because she's not that, like, bright.
Well,
So she's gonna just tell you that. Like,
Yeah,
why,
but I don't
somebody
think-
who's actually like, why would they tell you that?
Well,
Why
but
would
I
they
don't think
follow
because
through, like, to
it's
that?
not about being smart or not. I think she could lie about that if she wanted to. It's probably just that she doesn't think she's acting like maliciously. Oh my god, I missed a thing.
Okay.
Wow, okay. Oh, Rodney's. What did I miss? It's a thing. It's a 10-point Empire points.
You, my little DGG scion, are going to make me make good critique of Destiny, so I can prove to you that you don't actually give a fuck. Okay?
Damn, okay. What do you do for cardio? Bro, I'm pretty sure if you do like squats and deadlifts, I think you'll get decent cardio. I'm gonna be honest, okay? There have been a couple times the past couple weeks where I've had to run farther than I was expecting to or climb a bunch of stairs or whatever, and I was shocked, okay? My cardio got way better. Lift big, Put those big reps up and your cardio will improve. Don't run. That's for losers. Definitely don't do the elliptical. That's for losers. And don't swim unless you're gay, because that's for losers. What are you squatting right now? Listen, today was 180 by 5, and it was not a Destiny 180 low bar. It's high bar, okay? The worst types, the most disgusting types of Gojo approved squats, okay? Or high bar squatting. 45 pounds to go to my 225, and then I'm done ever progressing on that lift, ever, okay? Because fuck that bullshit. Until the end of time. Check the northwest and the forest area on the tip of the peninsula next to a light post. Oh, I think I already got that one. What have been 2 scheduled debates you had? One John Doyle, the other Billboard. The Billboard guy said he wanted to postpone because he got assaulted or something. Kill yourself, you fucking loser. Half of chat is trying to actually think squats are cardio. You fucking know them. Cardio is actually so huge for building work capacity, being able to progress faster in the gym as well. I mean, it might be, but probably not for beginners. I'm sure at some point cardio becomes important, but my cardio massively improved. When I first started squatting, I had to wait on my cardio between sets. I don't anymore, so I guess I could do more cardio. But like my general cardio for life massively improved doing squats and deadlifts. But I mean, like, you could go harder if you want. It just depends on what you're lifting for. I don't know. If you want to have better cardio, then do cardio. Like, yeah, that's it. If you want to have better cardio, do cardio. If you just want to lift bigger numbers, then lift bigger numbers. I don't know. What do you want me to say? On the ground in the flame hallway is where I missed the other one. In this hallway or in this hallway? One percent is for cardio. It's good for the rest time between sets, like you said, but it has huge benefits beyond that. Yeah, sure, fine. Yeah, it does. But it's not, I mean, going vegan has huge benefits. If you want the benefits of cardio, then you need to do cardio. You made it sound like you don't need to do cardio if you squat. You don't need to do cardio. All you want to do is squat and squat big numbers. You don't need to do cardio. You just need to squat. Unless you're at some like advanced training stage where you're doing like 20 different lifts to grow your legs. But at that point, why the fuck are you asking me for advice? You don't need to ask me for anything. But if you're taking like a beginning lifter and it's like, oh, I want to squat more, but my cardio is limiting me. If you start telling this guy to do all sorts of cardio, then he's going to be too fucking tired to do anything. Your cardio will catch up eventually. Like, who the fuck cares if it takes you 6 minutes between sets because you're waiting to catch your breath? It doesn't matter. It'll catch up eventually. Clear the fog warren, the trees directly north of the airstrip. Here? Maybe. Just exercise is like 100% more than the average dude that lives to 80. Cardio won't change that much if you actually work out. Actually, I kind of disagree with that. Cardio is probably pretty important. If you want to be like all around like healthier, I think cardio is probably a pretty important thing to do. In fact, let's see. I think I'm gonna make a bullshit statement right now that I have no scientific basis for. I would say that cardio and lifting are both probably equally important if you want to get like healthier. Like a guy that just does cardio all day cardio is probably a little healthier. That'd be my guess. A guy that just does cardio is probably a bit healthier than somebody that just does strength training. Building muscles and everything are really important because of the added flexibility and stability and the protectiveness from injuries later in life. But cardiovascular health all around, like just running and moving your body and having a stronger heart and lungs and everything, like has a myriad of other benefits too, I think. Who just joined? Who is this? Click, scroll. Oh, Trainwrecks. What's up, buddy?
Oh, what's good, bro? Oh, I gotta go eat, bro. I'm so lazy.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'm supposed to eat like 2 hours ago. I'm just so lazy. What should I have? So I'm torn between two options.
Go for it.
Tacos? Or I'm leaning toward this next one, but I don't know. Okay. Or tomato soup and a grilled cheese.
Get tacos, dude.
What?
Get tacos.
I love tomato soup though.
Yeah, but it's like, what are you doing? Eating tomato soup and grilled cheese? Just get tacos.
It's so good, bro. I love tomato soup. It's so good. I'm gonna have to get some tacos though, low key. But then again, bro, tomato soup, it hits different, Dest. It hits fucking different. Damn, bro, your kick streams are going well.
Yeah, they're going something. Yeah, true.
It feels like, you know, obviously I'm biased, but I have been known to be relatively objective, you know, when it comes to the, you know, to the facts. And I must say, listen, this feels like the old days.
Okay.
Now, you don't need to answer yes or no, but I'm telling you my opinion of this. It feels like the old days, if you know what I mean. The old days, you know what I'm saying? Like on another site. Like it feels like the old days. It's cozy like that. I can't explain it, bro. It's just that it's what should be now. But it's just, you know, they went down the wrong path.
Well,
unfortunate for them.